There are only two forces in the world fighting against each other: humanity and spirituality. The people who know and the people who don't know. The people who know are the people that are aware. They're the spiritual people. And the people who aren't aware are the human beings, the ones that are still in humanity. What I wanted to highlight today is being a scientist versus being a human being. And what I mean by this is, we all know that we're having a human experience, right? We experience things as a human being. You know, we're not perfect beings. We're not the ones that created the universe. But we do have an aspect of that perfection, of that higher being in us, or God is within everybody. The kingdom of heaven is within you. That means also that we can tap into a spiritual power. We can tap into that higher power, that divine being's power. We can tap into it, and we can tune our frequency to that higher frequency, that higher being, God, if you so will. In order to be able to fully be all in, to be all in with all of this spirituality, being close with God, your heart must be light. What you probably fail to realize is that God is an impersonal energy. God is no favor of persons. And you can search some of these things up, I'm saying, online or in the Bible. It's in the Bible. God is no respecter of persons. God is no favor of persons. I think Peter said that. So whatever you give God, God will give it back to you in reality. Whatever you're feeding, whatever energy you're feeding God, or whatever energy you hold within yourself, God will fuel that. It's like electricity, Electricity is only dangerous if not applied or used properly. But if it's used properly, correctly, we have light, we have the printer that's next to me, we have my TV in front of me, we have, what else? We have the heating. Electricity applied in the correct manner, or God used in the correct manner, with the correct energy being poured into it. And when I say energy, I'm talking about having faith and not being in doubt. Come to that confidence in God that everything is made to serve you. Everything will work together for the glory of God. Everything contributes to, if you believe in, God having a higher plan for you. It's not about the end goal, but it will contribute to who you are now, or what fortune is going to bring to you at a point in time. And when I say fortune, I mean it could be bad fortune or good fortune. You just have to use that. Use God well. God is there to help you. The aspect of God's energy is within all of us, ready to be applied. This is a human experience. Therefore, you're going to be doing human things. Humans aren't perfect, like we've already said. There's always a room for human error. We can develop the foresight, the frequency, the awareness to see the potholes before we fall into the potholes. However, you need to still remember that you're literally still a human body. You're confined in the 3D. So anything you do as a human being, no guilt. You should have no guilt attached to it. Come into forgiveness. This is why religion is so good, because, you know, we believe in that concept of, you know, God wiping away our sins, God relieving us of the burden of sin, and that Christ has already kind of died for our sins. You need your heart to be light. You need to enter forgiveness. You need to forgive yourself, forgive others, let go of the arguments, let go of, you know, the need to express your opinion, let go of wanting to be right, and let go of needing the other person to be wrong. You know, let them have it. Let them win. You don't need it. The frequency of God, the awareness of the most high frequency, the divine frequency, you're not even good. You don't need anything. Ask that. If you're at that level of awareness, you don't need anything. You have to give up the arguments. That's a human thing. That's one of the constraints that confines us in the 3D, that dampens our spiritual awareness. So this is where we come into the concept of being a scientist versus being a human being. You being a scientist merely just means you're thinking as a conscious person. You're thinking as a conscious person in terms of seeing things for what it is and not emotionally investing or being emotionally dependent, first of all, of reality, and using emotion to decipher things. You have to see it for what it is. Be able to see past the surface level of whatever's going on. You know, if we look at, let me say something slightly controversial, like things that happen in ghetto or poor areas, like maybe violence or racism or gang violence, like things like that. Instead of seeing it emotionally like a human would see it for what it is. You know, if you're part of if you're a scientist, you're in the lab overseeing the experiment, not a part of the experiment. So you wouldn't, let's say for lab rats, you wouldn't be, you know, your heart wouldn't go out to the rats, would it? You would look at the rats like subjectively, like, okay, so this happened, the rats ate each other because there was no food. You see it for what it is. You don't, oh, this rat, I hate this rat because that, you know, that rat shouldn't have eaten that rat. You know, you don't, oh, I feel bad for that rat. You know, he shouldn't have gone eaten. That's not looking at it from a scientific perspective. You need to, you're looking at it from a human emotional perspective. That's not to say to not be in tune with your emotions when you're around other people that are humans. Like, I still have friends that operate from, you know, the human consciousness. But you just have to keep that Christ consciousness safe. Keep that, you know, whenever a situation does arise, like maybe something serious, I couldn't even say what would happen, but if you're met with adversity, or you're met with resistance, or you're met with some sort of maybe insult from your human friends, you go to the secret place. And this is something interesting that was preached in my church like last Sunday, to enter the secret place of the Most High. Psalm 91 verse 1. He that dwelleth in the secret place of the Most High shall abide under the shadow of the Almighty. I'll say of the Lord, He is my refuge and my fortress. My God, in Him will I trust. You need to enter that secret place of the Most High. That's entering the Christ consciousness, the higher frequency, the frequency of God. And one example that my mom highlighted that was said in the church was, it's like when you're driving and there's a pothole, being a human being, not being aware, being emotionally dependent, or being emotionally driven. Oh, I don't want to turn this way, it takes too much effort. I don't know, you just drive straight into that pothole, right? Because you're not aware. But if you enter that Christ consciousness, enter the secret place of the Most High, then you'll be able to have that awareness of, oh, I'm going to run into that pothole. I'm going to run into that unfortunate situation. You avoid the devil's traps before the devil even has a chance to, to set it off, to set off the trap. That's the whole essence of entering the secret place of the Most High. Being able to, when something is thrown at you by another human being, ridicule, insults, instead of emotionally reacting, you see it for what it is. You're able to stay in that secret place. And I want to highlight that you should constantly be in the secret place, constantly. I mean, it's not going to happen overnight, obviously, but just practicing meditation, prayer, that meditation will hone your consciousness, hone your concentration. And prayer is essentially steadying the mind on an ideal. Prayer is essentially glorifying the God within. And I'm going to make a separate video about that as well, glorifying the God within. I am is God. So whatever you're confirming about yourself is basically what you're giving God. I am wealthy, I am abundant, I am lucky, I am happy, I am content. You need to confirm. This is how you essentially direct the energy of God in the right direction as a scientist. Now remember, your actions contribute very, very, very little. So what you're doing isn't what you should be focused on. You should first get into your own mind. You first need to get into your own mind and change your thinking. Enter the secret place. Enter it and know what it feels like. And then you'll be able to react as a scientist and not a human being. Be overseeing humanity, not being in humanity. Be of humanity, but not in it. So are you humanity or spirituality? You have to pick one side. You can't serve two masters at once. You're either all in or all out. Bulking guide, link in the description. Discord server in the description as well. That's free. And free advice and motivation in the description as well. If you made it this far, like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Stay blessed.